Okay, it's February. It's the first Monday of the month, and you're watching this video because you're probably job searching. And if you're probably job searching today, there's a high likelihood that you've been job searching last month, January. And you're probably not getting interviews, or if you are, they're not converting to offers. And we want to make that happen this month. And I want you to watch my content because I will help you do that. But you have to start to think, well, why is the job search being so tough? Now, 2026 is going to be a really tough year for anybody looking for a job because you have all these issues popping up. You have market saturation, which I talk about. You have AI tools, which are fueling said market saturation. Everybody's resume looks exceptional, and hiring managers are stopping reading resumes, and they're probably just going for internal referrals because it's much easier. And then you're stuck in the middle of that thinking, well, am I actually going to get this job? You will if you change your approach. Your approach has to be different than what it used to be. If you're applying, waiting, and getting rejected and hoping for the best, you and I both know that that's not going to increase your chance of getting a role, even though it feels like a constructive, productive thing to do, apply and wait, and I'll just have to apply for more jobs. You could do that, but you tried that and you need to change things. And changing things is going to be a requirement of who you speak to. So if you speak to the people who are working in companies you want to work in, you will have a better chance. And I'm sure you probably can logically make sense of that. But the majority of job seekers are just not doing it for whatever reason. Imposter syndrome, they don't know how, they don't know who, the confidence levels are low. And I get that. These are all very normal things, but you have to, because worst case scenario, you're not getting the job you want. Best case scenario, you're getting multiple offers in the job you want and you can select the best one. That is a real thing that happens to people every day. But the people that get that are taking their job search very differently. January was easy mode job application, job search, job acquisition. Now, this will be uncomfortable to hear. Last month was an easy month to get a job. This month is going to be much harder. And it's going to be much harder because a lot of people have been offered positions in January. But you're sitting there thinking, well, why wasn't I? Yes, I get that. That's fine. Let's not, focus on the past too much. Let's focus on what we can do this month because February is still a good chance. March, April, May, then that tends to get a little bit more tough. Then you've got June, July, and then you've got obviously the summer period and things change quite a bit. But I want you to get a job this month. So how are we going to do it? Let's develop strategies. Let's talk to people. I want you to think about something I spoke about in another video, which is an ideal employer profile. The majority of job seekers I speak to every single day do not know where they want to work. What company do you want to work for? I don't mind. Why do you want to work for this industry? I don't mind. Is there a particular type of dream you have when it comes to your job search? I just want to pay my bills. And hey, I get that. Bills are very important. But in the most competitive job market on the planet in human history right now, you're going to have to come up with a little bit more than that. You're going to need to have a list of companies you want to work for. You're going to have an actual flair, a motivation to why you're going to be the right fit. You need to have an elevator pitch. You need to understand your soft profile, which is your soft skills, your company culture, your work style, your measurable metrics, your personality traits, how they fit into the workplace, the types of companies. Because if your January job search was very passive, which is apply, wait, and get rejected, we've seen the results of that. So why not try to do something a little bit more interesting, which is being able to be laser focused on the actual companies you want to work in? And you might be thinking, well, Milo, what's the point? Because I know it's not a good market. How could I be so picky now? Surely it's easier to be open-minded. Now, logically, that would make sense. Be more open-minded, be more broad, knock on more doors, make more contacts via applications. But we both know how that has worked out for you in January. It hasn't worked out amazing. And you might be blaming the job market and the economy and what's happening in the world. And I'm with you there. But the market has evolved. So why not give it a shot? Why not give February as the month that you do things differently? Let's get out of our comfort zone. Let's connect to people doing the job that you want to do. Let's connect to people who influence hiring decisions. Why not reach out to the CEO of the company? Why not talk to the CFO, even if you're not looking for a CFO position? Why not ask a very genuine question of the COO? Why not ask for a meeting? Ask for referrals, recommendations. Ask for a meeting that will last 5 minutes. Go to the office, ask questions. There's so many things that you can do in comparison to just clicking on a button on a website, because that's all you're limiting your job search. Like, if you think about it, the crazy part is you genuinely want to work in a good company. I'm sure of it. You're watching these videos to better yourself. And you might have a real focus of the types of companies. You might have a dream company you want to work for, but there's something stopping you from doing more. You're limiting yourself to sending a PDF or a docx file via an upload button on a website. And that's the extent of what your delivery system and strategy is to get a job. And then when the result is completely equivalent to the amount of work you put in, which is another email or another button that the company would press in an automated way saying, unfortunately, you haven't been successful, you feel very left out and you feel shortchanged. And then you start to logically think, I hope by this stage that, well, surely I can do more. And if I do more, will I get more results? And will they be more positive? Well, I think they would. It's just you have to know what to do and how and when. If you talk to people who have, influence in these companies, who are key people of influence, who can influence the hiring decisions. So let's say you want to be a data analyst. You can reach out to a senior data analyst who actually selects the new hires with the hiring team and tells them what to look for. Now you know them. Now they know you. Now you can make a better application. Now you can ask better questions. What about the global head of HR of a multinational business you want to work in? And they know your name. They've seen your LinkedIn profile. You've asked a question. You've asked for 5 minutes of their time. They might be busy, but they could recommend you to someone who has the decision-making ability in the hiring team. All of these things start with intent and structure and strategy. What's missing right now is the strategy and the intent. And the intent is really important because you might be thinking that it's above you to do this and you don't have the credentials to reach out to these people. But I can assure you that from what I've seen people with no experience get into some really amazing roles that required experience, all because they made the right contact and asked the right question. At this stage in your career, whether you're a entry level, mid-level, senior, you're looking for a job in the toughest time in human history and the toughest job market in human history, with all these new technological advancements that are changing how these roles are looked at and how people are hired. You have to do more. You don't have a choice. And I think a lot of the optionality of, well, I could network, I could do more, but I'm going to play it safe. You can't play it safe anymore. It doesn't exist. Playing it safe means apply, wait, reject. Doing more is where you actually have a chance. So I want this video to wake you up. I want you to do more, because if you think about it, it's not like you're looking for a role that's going to take 80% of your time and you're going to spend the majority of your life doing that role. That's sarcasm, by the way. You will be, right? So you're going to spend so much of your time in this job. You're going to do so much with the job you get, and that job is going to do so much for you. If you get the right job, your whole life changes. The people you surround yourself with, your spouse, your family, everything is connected to how happy you are with the job you do. So it makes complete logical sense to do more to get one. Look, if you like these videos and you want me to do more, like and comment, subscribe. It costs you nothing. It means the world to me. And I'll see you on the next one.